Welcome to this episode of Walden Wong Art, and today I'm going to be doing a drawing demonstration. But before then, I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. To all the fathers out there, the fathers-to-be, the father-in-laws, the grandfather, all the fathers out there, I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. So if you haven't yet, go out there and give them a call and say happy Father's Day. So in this video, I'm going to be drawing monsters. Frankenstein. Not to say that all the fathers are Frankensteins. Anyway, right here, this is a pencil drawing that I've done. I used different graphite pencils as well as erasers and charcoal, and I drew this right before I made this video, but I was so excited about the drawing that I wanted to make a video. So this is going to be the drawing that you're going to be watching me draw. Hopefully that you learn something from this. And these are the tools. Now, a lot of people ask me when I'm drawing in pencils, what tools do I use? So I have a series of pencils right over here, just different pencil lids. And here's a charcoal pencil, and this one has a pencil extender as well as a little utility knife that you can use to shave off the tip of the pencils. This also comes with different sharpeners, one sharpener for the pencil and one sharpener for the charcoal. Erasing stumps, needle eraser, a vinyl eraser, the graphite sticks and charcoal over here, as well as the sandpaper block. And I'll explain how each of these are used. That way you'll see me using it as I'm drawing this here. So for those of you who are curious and who are interested in thinking about getting a set, this is a really good set. I'll add links below this video description so you can order it on Amazon. This is the kit. It's under $20. Very, very affordable, especially for beginning artists. And you can create artwork just like this, Frankenstein, or you can draw portraits of anything else. So in this video, I'm going to be drawing this and explaining the tools as I go, explaining what these are and how to use it, and then the different shade tone that it does. So without further ado, let's head on to the video. Okay, so here's me starting to draw Frankenstein, drawing all the basic shapes first, sketching everything in, and then as I'm doing this video, I'll show some of the art supplies on the bottom. So the art supply kit that I had came with a few different pencils, starting from 5H. You can see on the bottom of the screen. I'm gonna use each of the pencil and shade on the bottom of the screen so you can see the different in tones of each pencil lead. So we'll start with 5H, next is 4H, and then I'll keep going on to 3H and so forth. And then you can also watch me draw the portrait on top as I'm doing all the shading on the bottom. That way you can watch me do two things at once. Okay, now I'm going to focus the camera on the bottom. So 5H is the lightest pencil in this set, and then we move on to 4H and then 3H. As we move on, you'll notice that the pencil lead, it gets darker, each of the shade. 2H, I'm doing a few more shading here. Notice how it's getting darker. Next, we're going to grab the other pencil, the HB. And then right above, we're working on the rest of the outline for Frankenstein. Get all that done first. Get all the areas figured out. And then these are all the pencils. I'm using each of those pencils. I'm also shading on the bottom. So once I'm on the top, once I'm done getting the shape of the face, I'll pull out the darkest pencil. That's the softest lead. And I'll go and push in all the really dark shadow areas. On the left, I'm looking at a photograph that I printed out. And then on the right, I'm just drawing it. Now, when you're doing pencil shading, I recommend shading in as dark as you can, like pitch black dark. Once you shade in areas that's really dark, it gives you more values to play with. So I'm doing all the hair, the eyes, the nostrils, the mouth, some underneath the ears. Just push it really dark. Some artists, when they're doing the shading, they're not doing the art dark enough, and then they don't have that much gray area to play with. You can always use one pencil to do the whole drawing, or you can use a kit like this that has many different pencils, so you can pick the lightest pencil to the darkest pencil. This way you don't have to press too hard. On the bottom, where I'm on the bottom of the screen, you see me shading all those different shadows. I'm using the same pressure. So using the same pressure, I'll go from light and then to dark to middle dark to deep dark to really dark. 6B, that's a dark one. And then the last one over here is the H8B. And that's a really pitch black dark pencil. So that's what I started using to do all the black areas, to do all the really dark areas, the Frankenstein right above. Okay, and then we're gonna switch off to a different pencil. And then on the bottom left screen, I'm pulling out the graphite pencil. The graphite soft pencil is basically a regular pencil, except it doesn't have the wood part of it on the pencil. So you're basically holding a really big, thick lead, your drawing pencil lead. So that's what that is. It's a really big lead. So you can be drawing with that, and then you don't even need to sharpen it. Just keep drawing it. The areas that you're holding, unlike the wood pencil, is actually a whole lead. So I switched pencils and I'm doing middle tones of Frankenstein right now. And all the while I'm looking at the reference on the left. And as I'm shading, I'm looking at the reference drawing and shading on the right. Doing the side of the face, and I'm also thinking about light source, where the light value is coming from. Okay, on the bottom left of the screen, you'll see me using graphic sticks. These are graphic sticks, which is like a stick, and then you hold it like charcoal, and there's a soft, medium, and a hard one. And let me shade in all the different tones so you can see how that works. And it's good for smudging. You can always use your finger and kind of like smudge it to give it a gradation. So that was the soft lead on the bottom left of the screen. In the middle of the screen is the medium graphic lead. Okay, notice that it gets darker. And then I'll use my finger and I'll smudge it after I'm done, just to show the gradation of the blending. And then here's the hard graphics lead. So you just shade it with your finger, just smudge it. And that's how that looks. Nice, smooth, soft tone over there. Okay, on the drawing, you notice that I used a smudger to do some of the areas. And then I'll go over some of the smudgers in the bottom left later, in the inset panel. Okay. Drawing more of Frankenstein's nose. Okay, these are charcoals. Charcoal, I have to say, they're messy. I don't really like using charcoal that much, but if you want a really rich pitch black area, that would be good to use. As I took them out of the bag, there's already like bits and pieces falling out already, but it's really, really messy. So this is the soft charcoal. Notice that it's really darker than the pencil. You can do mixed media. You can always draw with pencil, draw with graphite, and then also use charcoal to draw on top of it. Or you can just draw in pencil and then do charcoal separately. And in this artwork that I draw, where I'm drawing the portrait of Frankenstein, I use both graphite pencil, lead pencil, and charcoal for some of the clothing. Charcoal is easier to blend with your finger, and it gives a nice, smooth, gray area. And then here's the hard charcoal. So they're soft, medium, and hard in this kit that I have. So if you're interested in buying one of these pencil set, again, it's under $20. It's not that expensive. You can get it on Amazon. It's one of the drawing pencil sets that I recommend to a lot of students that take some of my classes when they want to use more than just one regular pencil. Links below underneath this video. Okay, so I'm going to keep drawing, focusing on some of the areas, and then draw deeper. Think about where the shadows are. I'm going to keep adding to the right, adding to the left. And all the while, the bottom of my palm, it is smudging the pencil. And for me, it's okay to smudge because I'll go back and I'll erase around it later. Okay, this kit also comes with two pencil sharpeners, one in the black sharpener, the other one's a metal. The black sharpener is for your charcoal. So when you're sharpening your charcoal pencils, use the black sharpener. The silver one, just use that to sharpen your regular pencils. The silver one has two holes that you can use. One is for a thicker pencil, one is for a thinner pencil. So you're all covered. So when you sharpen, you just turn it, and all the sharpened stuff just comes right out like that right over there. Okay, but if you sharpen, you should go near a garbage can or something, or sharpen next to a piece of paper where you can throw it away later. Don't sharpen directly on top of your artwork. You'll make a mess. So Frankenstein, I'm going to add more detail and textures. Once I added all the gray area, the tone area, I'm going to start adding different textures. So on the bottom left inset panel, I'm showing you the tones of the charcoal lead. So the bottom left, we have the charcoal hard, charcoal pencil hard, and then we'll go over to the medium and so forth. Charcoal. So these are a different gradation. And then towards the end of the video, I'll show you an image of all of the different shadings and charcoal and pencil lead all in one page so you can see it all together. So Frankenstein, this is my first time drawing Frankenstein. I just thought it's like a fun monster to draw. It's one of the classic Universal Studios monsters. Created by Mary Shelley, I believe. And then here I'm taking the knead eraser, and I'm not just erasing, I'm also drawing with the eraser. So sometimes if I have too much gray area, I'll use the eraser and I'll draw some lines or lighten up some lines. And then right here, I'm adding some of the textures on Frankenstein's face. There's some bumps. Not everyone's face is smooth. If someone's face is smooth, it's been photoshopped. So there's always textures in everyone's faces. Blemishes, textures, scars. And for Frankenstein, it's like a really noticeable scar over there. So I'm just pretty much stippling in with one of the pencil lead. After I'm done with all the shading, I would just go back and start doing all the texture. After I do the texture and I see areas that needs to be darker, I'll go back again. So there's a lot of back and forth. And right here, I'm making sure the form of the nose is correct. And I'll keep adding, erasing, lightening up, darkening up, lightening it up until I'm happy with it. Go around the nose. Be sure there's a shadow there. Again, think about the light source. Underneath the nose should be a gray area. Okay, here's the pencil smudger on the bottom left. These are pencil smudging stumps. They're white sticks. They're not erasers. They're used for softening a pencil. So if you're drawing something in charcoal and pencil and you have a really dark area, you want to blend those out to gray, you use the pencil stumps and then you would just start smudging it. Some artists did, if they don't have pencil stumps, you can always use a Q-tip or you can always use your finger. In this video, you see me using stumps as well as my finger, and sometimes you even see me using like the palm of my hand just to get a bigger gray area. So right here, you see me using pencil stumps, and I'm softening up the edges of the pencil gray lead. Okay, so not only are you softening it, sometimes there's pencil lead on the stump. You can still pick that up and use that to draw as well. So take advantage of the pencil stumps being, the smudging stumps being dirty. You can use that to continue drawing. Now here is a sandpaper block. Sandpaper block, when you buy it, there's a sheet on top. You just remove that sheet, and then it's basically a sandpaper. That sandpaper is for you to take your pencil to shave it down, or you can also take these pencil stumps that I have. Just take the pencil stump, and then kind of erase around it. Just draw around the sandpaper, kind of like shave it off. This is how you clean your pencil stumps. So if your pencil stump, just like in Frankenstein's face where I'm using it, you see how it's getting all dark? You can use that and you bring it over to the sandpaper block and then kind of shave it. That's how you clean the pencil stumps. With that sandpaper block, you can also use that to shave your pencil lead to get like a flat gradation. So right here, you can see me cleaning the pencil stumps. The more you clean it, the shorter it will get, just like using a regular pencil. So I'm just cleaning some. Notice how all that gray that was on the stuff now is all gone, and now it's all clean, and then you can start using it new. That's how you use the sandpaper block. Sandpaper block. And then here I'm drawing Frankenstein. So if you were gonna use a pencil, this is a pencil, and you want to flatten down one of the tips. Say you're drawing something and the tip is too sharp, you can use these sandpaper block to like soften it up. That way you can give a really flat surface on your lead. You can control how thick your lead is, how sharp your lead is. There's also the X-Acto knife that comes with this pencil set I'm using. So, and then I'll explain more with that later. You can use that X-Acto knife to shave off some of the pencil lead. And here we have a eraser. There's a vinyl eraser, which is the white one. And then on the Frankenstein drawing, I'm using a kneaded eraser. Kneaded eraser is great for charcoal, and it's also good for forming. Unlike the vinyl eraser, the white eraser, when you erase, there's a lot of eraser dust. When you're using this kneaded eraser, notice that I'm stretching it, pulling it. When it's dirty, you can stretch it and flip it around and knead it around. When you use that eraser to erase, it doesn't create eraser dust. In fact, it collects all its own eraser dust, and then you just continue using it. You can use these erasers for a very long time. Unlike a vinyl eraser, after you erase for a while, all the eraser dust comes off, and then that eraser gets smaller and smaller, and then you just throw it away. The kneaded eraser, you keep using it. Eventually, that eraser will get really dark and gray and dark. Knead it, like flip it around a few times, and it will clean itself. And then after a while, it'll get dark. When you use it a lot, then you're gonna get to a point where you can't erase anymore because it picked up so much pencil lead. That's when it's time to throw it away. I had kneaded erasers for a good 4 years already, and it still works. Okay, on the bottom left of that small panel, that's a little cutting knife that it comes with. That knife is for you to shave off the pencils, the wood on the pencil. That way you can have a longer lead, and you can draw more with the lead. If you don't want to use your regular sharpener, you can always use that to sharpen up your pencils. That way you don't have to cut off. Because if you're using a pencil sharpener, you're really shortening the life of your pencil lead. If you're using a blade just to cut off some of the wood, you're extending your pencils a little bit longer. And then when the blade is dull, you just push it to the side, and then it'll break off one side of the blade, and you will have a sharper cutting knife again. So you can use it all over and over again. Okay, Frankenstein starting to look good. Shadows, darken up the shadows. The template just fell down, and the template I had, that little plastic thing, it was just something I have on my drawing table. It just fell down. Now I'm adding textures on the neck, giving more textures just so it looks more real, more form. Some areas that looks like it's white, just go and add more texture and just draw. Like, I'm at a point where right now I'm not even looking at the reference anymore. I'm happy with what I've done, and I'm just going back there. Yeah, did you see me? I just used my fingers to start smudging. Okay, on the bottom left of the panel, this is the thing that I'm going to show you is called a pencil extender. If you have a short pencil, say you're using one of these pencils, a good pencil, and it got short, you don't want to be using it when it's really short and you can't draw anymore. You can stick that pencil inside the pencil extender, and it'll hold that little pencil stump. On the pencil, there's one that has a bigger hole and one with a smaller hole, so you can put smaller pencil inside or a bigger pencil inside. Once you put it in there, you pull that ring right to the front, and it'll hold your pencil. So make sure you just hold that and then pull it all the way to the front. Like, put it in, put the pencil stump in, pull that ring all the way out, and then right then it'll get stuck. It won't come off. And then if you want to release it, just release the ring, and then it will come back out. It's really nice. It extends your pencil. That's why it's called the pencil extender. So right here on Frankenstein, I'm using a charcoal pencil because I want it to be really, really dark. And I'm just doing this quickly. I'm using the palm of my hand just to soften it up, because the pencil stump doesn't cover up that much of an area. So I'm just using my hand. And when I'm drawing in portrait with my hand, usually my fingers, my hand is really messy at the end. I just go wash it. So wash your hands for a good 30 seconds, maybe more. Clean off all the germ, clean off all the lead. And then right here, I'm using some of the backgrounds on the pencil to to give it some effect on the backgrounds. Here's the graphite pencil. I'm going to start darkening up areas that I want it to be really darker, because every so often, again, my hand goes across and it softens up some of the pencil. So I'm going back with the final touch with a really dark pencil, darken up everywhere that I want to be a really good shadow. This is the graphite pencil, which is the pencil that has no wood in it. The whole pencil is a lead. This whole thing is a lead. So I'm using my hand just to soften. Another thing about portrait drawing, and not a lot of people would do, what I usually do is that sometimes I'll use the eraser and I'll draw with the eraser, and then you'll see me do that later. Okay, again, you can use a pencil stump. There's different sizes. There's a small one, medium, and a large one. You can use your fingers. You can use your hair. Here it is. I'm using the eraser, and I want to make some light source areas really bright. Okay, so I'm taking that and I'm molding the knead eraser to a point, and then I'm going there and I'm erasing areas that I really want dark. What I do is I'll pinch the eraser and I'll twist it, and I'll give that a really sharp area, and then I'm using my finger to like soften up certain areas. Okay, so I'm playing around with the eraser, using the eraser to create the art. So I'm doing all the light source. And every time I'm doing art, I'm always thinking about where the shadows are, where the lights are, where the light source is. Yeah, and then sometimes if you erase, you're going to have it too bold. So I just use my finger there and I'll just smudge it. Again, you can use a pencil smudger, or you can use a Q-tip if you don't have that. Just going to start softening that area, give certain areas light source, and then smudge it with my fingers again. And here's the lips. And then now I'm erasing some of the background, because because I'm right-handed, there's a lot of pencil smudges there. I'm just gonna soften that up and then add some background textures later, where I'm just gonna use my finger and pull that out so it's not like a complete white. So there's Frankenstein. I'm pretty happy with how this Frankenstein drawing turned out. And that's me signing it. So there you have it. That's me drawing Frankenstein. All done in pencil, graphite, erasers, and right up here. I did it right before I made this video. And this is me using all these tools here. So if you're interested in getting one of these sets here, I added links below the video description. This is not bad. This is very good. Great for beginners and advanced artists. And when you're traveling like me, sometimes I'll go to comic book conventions and then I'll have all my tools with me. It's readily available. This also comes with a little zipper pouch where you can just zip everything up and nothing will get lost in your luggage. Every so often, I would just remove some of the pencils, depending on what conventions I go to. I'll remove all the pencils. I'll put in microns or brushes or any kind of art tools. Just the pouch alone, I think, is worth it. If you want to know more about me, my working in comic books from Marvel Comics and DC Comics, check out my website. It's waldenwongart.com. Over on my website, I have a gallery, a blog, video links, as well as a shop that you could order prints that I sell. So check out my website over there. If you enjoy these videos that I make for you, think about supporting me over on Patreon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell. So anytime I have a new video and you have the notification bell on, you'll be one of the first to know the new videos that I have uploaded. So thank you very much. Happy Father's Day, and keep on drawing. The more you practice, the better you get. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.